My name is Rose Gacha, and I want to talk about the two most contemporary calendars, that is Google Calendar and Outlook. We want to look and see what features both of them contain and which calendar could actually be better than the other one. The reason I chose these two is because, first of all, most businesses and educational systems are using these two calendars, and also myself, I use Google so much for my professional, student life, and also personal life. And on the other hand, I use Outlook for my work. The email from the district is associated with Outlook, so I normally use it there. Now let's look at some of the similarities and the differences between these two calendars, and see which one could actually be better than the other one. So, first, both of the calendars allow you to create and then either publicly or privately share information, which could be events or just agendas. And that's a 21st century feature that is very important. Both of them have the same view, front view of the day, the week, the month, and the agenda or the event. Also, both calendars are actually synced, can actually be synced, and are very compatible with each other. For example, if you have an iPhone and you have an Outlook account and a Google account, if you update the Outlook calendar, those updates will most likely be reflected later on in a Google calendar. So these two are very compatible with each other, and that is a very good thing. Also, both of them allow you to attach files after the description of the event or the agenda. You can actually attach a file. And last but not least is the color coding feature. Both Outlook and Google let you color code the calendar or the event. Outlook will ask you what color you want to put for your event, just to help you get organized. It could be red, blue, yellow. Whereas Google, on the other hand, lets you color code the calendar. So if you have about 5 calendars, you can have different colors for them, and every time you look at your reminder or your calendar, you can actually tell what calendar you are working with at that point without having to read the names. Alright, let's look at the differences between these two calendars. Google lets the users collaborate by actually allowing them to edit calendars that they did not create. So you can create a calendar, share it with people, and then update the editing settings to allow them to change or to even create new events in the calendar. On the other hand, for Outlook, only the organizer can edit the event that they created. Google also lets you use the option of video call for offsite meetings, which is not available with Outlook. The problem here is that Google does not really work well when it's offline. It always works well when you're connected to the internet, although it has a few limited features that you can still, work with. The good thing with Outlook is that on your desktop, you can actually create and manage your events offline, and later on they'll just sync up when you go to a place that has internet. For Google, the organizer can actually remove himself or herself from the list. You can create an event or create a calendar and then remove yourself from it. But for Outlook, as an organizer or the event creator, you cannot exempt yourself from being an attendee. You have to stay listed as an attendee. Now let's look and see if we have a winner between Google and Outlook, which I don't think there is. Both calendars have contemporary settings, and they both allow you to create and share events with other users. But for Google, you can actually collaborate better because users who did not create the events can actually edit them or even add new events to the shared calendar. So maybe Google is a winner. But before we actually try to create a Google Calendar, which I want to teach you today, let's take a quick look at how both of them look like. Outlook, just like Google, has the event, always has the event heading up there, allows you to attach a picture or an attachment. It gives you a chance to choose a room, especially if you're working with a particular domain. Here's where you put the attendees. You can put as many as possible. I invited myself to the event. This is the start and the end time. It also lets you choose to repeat the event if you want, periodically. You can either mark it private or not, and also request responses from the attendees. So that's how Outlook looks. So we agree that Google Calendar wins, although by a very small margin. So now I will do a quick show of how to create a Google Calendar. I'll show you how to create your own Google Calendar. So I will escape from this presentation and open a new tab. The first thing that you want to make sure is that you're logged in with the email that you want to create an account for. So in this case, I am logged in with my email right there. I can see my picture. Then you click on the apps and then select calendar. I like to work with the month view. As you can see, I have other calendars, but then I'll show you how to create another calendar on top of this. So you go to my calendars, then create calendar. So the first thing you want to do is to name your calendar. Let's call this calendar IEPs, mostly for special education teachers. And this calendar is falling under the FHSU domain. It could be your personal email or the domain you're working with. Let's give a small description of our calendar, which could be, let's call it meetings to edit or assign. I'll just call it that. IEPs. Let's call it that. Where will this be happening? The location, let's just call it the middle school conference room. In the United States, obviously, and because I'm in the Eastern time and my Gmail is on the Central time, I want to set the time zone that my people will mostly be working with. So let me just set the Eastern time. So whenever I put the time for the events under this calendar, it will always be Eastern time. You may choose to share the calendar with the public or not. So let me just choose share with others. If you push share with others, it directly lets you share with just the people in your domain. But if you want to share with the public, which I don't normally do, you can just click on share with the public. But because it's really not recommended, or unless you really need to, then just click on that and it just shares with the people in your domain. They can all access it. But for this, let's share the calendar with a particular person, and I'm going to call this person Rose.Gacher, and I'm right there. There's that email. It's just my email. You can add other people, not just that one. But for this person that we just added, let's give them permission, to do some of the things with the calendar. Let's see what powers they can have. They can either make changes and manage the sharing. They can just make changes to events or just see all the events, or it could be just a minor person and all they can see is busy or free. Because this is the power of Google. Let's make this other person be able to make changes or also manage the sharings too, so they have the same power as myself. So they can actually share the calendar. I even add new events. So when you've done all that, just click on create calendar, and I'll just say yes. All right, so now we have a new calendar right there. Let's see, there it is. It's just showed up. IEPs. So now if you want to color code IEPs, you can come and put it, say, purple. You can color it purple. So every time you see a purple color on your calendar, then you know it's coming from the is an event from the IEP's calendar. If you have any questions on how to create your Google Calendar, let me know. You can email me directly. And thank you so much for watching my video. Goodbye.